Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, to Soul Brothers Pod with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to take you on the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, your background is looking very, very green. Up only?
Yeah, green candles. Actually, I don't know if you guys see that, but whenever I do the TA, you'll see it. I do not have green candles on my charts. Little pro tip. I change the colors to distract my psychology from being triggered to do stupid things when it comes to trading, because green usually signals FOMO and red usually signals fear. You're going to make stupid decisions. So I have like neutral colors in my trading.
That is
yes,
very, very smart. What if you programmed the lights to match like a chart, and then it would just like your the lights in your room were just constantly switching back between green and red.
Great idea, That's amazing. It's very healthy.
Yes, very healthy.
Much better. It's already bad enough with looking at these charts every 5 minutes, but an instant feedback with the lighting in your room, that would be genius. But yeah, if you can't see where I'm sitting right now, then you're not watching on YouTube or you're not on the live stream, which is totally fine. So for our podcast audience, I have a interesting green-ish background. I don't know how that looks like. It looks funny. Is in his little cabinet. You always have the same background, which kind of signals that you have an actual room at home where you can work at, right? Like you always have the same corner there.
Actually, no, this is the corner of our kitchen.
Yeah, here we go. That's the true spirit. It is what it is, guys. We're simple people. We don't have offices. It is what it is. It works. All you need is a laptop and a mic, and then you can do cool things in the internet. We do have some stuff on the agenda that is definitely exciting. It's another week, another big week coming to an end actually right now here for crypto, and we're going to look a little bit at the charts. We're going to take a glance at what Solana is doing and where it's heading next. But we also have some exciting news around the Solana ETF, because there's movement going on, and I think we're getting closer there. That was so close. So I want to talk a little bit about the ETF, the current state of ETFs as well. And we're going to also talk a little bit about some new debts coming up in the world. Are you excited about digital asset treasuries, as excited as I am?
I am very, very excited about digital asset treasuries, and I do want to troll the Soul Brothers intern a little bit. He said, Mondays are for the bros. It's Thursday, man.
Anyway, it's still he's still right. Like it's factual true. Mondays are for the bros. It's not a lie. It's not
and Thursdays.
Place to say that now. From now on, Thursdays as well. That's how cooked we are, guys. We have no idea what day it is. So yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. The new DATs, emerging DATs. You are actually a good person to talk about DATs, right? Because of your work relationship right now as well with a few of these asset treasuries. Because I think for the company you work with, Sanctum, it is a very interesting BD case to get some of these DATs, acquire some sort of LST that might be in the circle of Sanctum, if I'm not mistaken. How bullish are you guys on DATs at Sanctum, by the way, and how important is it right now of a topic?
Well, when you start diving into the DAT rabbit hole, it's super interesting, and there's probably some opinions that I should keep to myself because they're a bit confidential, maybe. But the things that I can share is that it's clear that the DATs will eventually. Sorry, I'm being very hesitant over here to what I'm allowed to say, but it's clear that some DATs will survive and others won't in the long term, right? And so what's going to end up happening is that some DATs that are trading way under MNAV, meaning that the SOL that they have on balance is more than the value of the company itself, which makes no sense, but it happens sometimes for various reasons that we won't dive into just exactly right now. But if those folks don't get their shit together, then you're going to see the bigger DATs like Sharp Technologies snap them up for cents on the dollar. The DAT landscape is very new, constantly evolving, and everyone's trying to clamor in right now. There are new DATs that are being created literally every week, it seems, in different regions in the world. So the U.S. is quite saturated, but places like Japan and Korea have a lot of room for growth. So yeah, that's what's going on in Datland. You are muted, my friend.
Bit difficult to talk that way. The Asian market is emerging when it comes to the DAT game as well right now. So that's something you can observe. Like people are getting active over there to look into a topic, and new DATs are coming off. I think that's one of the things we want to talk about today as well, right?
Yes.
The
yes,
Asian
yes.
Asian DATs.
Yes.
Before we do, shall we take a look at the charts?
Oh yeah, we are going to move over to the coziest part of the podcast. Of course, it is Simon's TA. Simon, please, what's going on?
All right. It is looking neither good nor bad right now, which is usually a state in the market that no one really likes, because it means uncertainty. And I said it before and I say it again, the wave 4 in any kind of chart structure is usually the most confusing wave. And it makes psychological sense if you think about it, because wave 3s are impulses, right? So wave 3s are always impulsive, very like a general rule you can imagine. And we can see it in the chart if we look at some of the wave 3 structures we have in here. This was a 1-2 setup, and then the third wave brings us to a new high in a few impulses, right, in the larger time scale here. And then in this smaller time scale as well, we have a 1-2 setup, and then the third wave is an impulse. The third waves are a great starting point to identify waves as well. Like whenever there's an impulsive move in the chart, that could potentially be a third wave, and you will most likely find a 1-2 setup before that. And you can identify the 1-2 setups by just checking the fib levels as well and making sure that it bounces off at around the 0.382 level, which is the first ideal target for wave 2. And then if that breaks, then the second ideal target is a 618. And after that, it becomes less likely that the wave 2 is actually a wave 2, and prices could break down. And that brings us to the current set of things, because right now, it's shaky, right? We're looking at the 4-hour chart right now of our Solami token here. We're at $220 on the mark as of now, at the time of recording, and we've been pumping last night, basically until today in the morning, in European time zone right now, and we kind of made our way from $216 to $230. It looked like we might go up from here, right? Because I'm checking a 1, 2, 3, 4 setup and then to the upside. So I was starting to get excited here, but that's always a good moment to take a step back and just rely again on Elliott waves, because what we've seen here from the wave 4 bottom so far is a 1, then a retracement 2, and then a 3. That's it, nothing else. So that is not a confirmation yet that the low is in. A 1, 2, 3 is usually a corrective structure. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be a trend kind of directional movement, right? So what we would have to see here, which is already invalidated from what I see right now, would be a 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth wave that finds support and then goes up. Unfortunately, that fourth wave right now is far below ideal fib levels, and that's where we are right now, literally sub $220. Broke that resistance area here that would have been important to hold for continuation. So the next resistance area is the price bottom that we've seen in the last days, which is $217.4. So we might see a double bottom where the price finds support here and then tries to go up again. But yeah, it is a wave 4 here that is already deep in the support. If we go below the support at $217, which is the last resort really to keep the bullish scenario alive, then we might see a broader correction playing out. And then we have to take a look at the next target levels. The next big target or support zone would be the $192 or $193, all the way down here, if we break this bullish move to the upside. So it really, I think this week and this weekend, if we see more movement right now in the next days, is really indicative for what's happening down in October. Because if we break that support, then Uptober might turn into Downtober, which would be unfortunate. And if we keep that support alive, then I think I'll remain bullish for October to see some more upside momentum. TLDR, I think people are being shaken out right now. The question is how far will the bears push us down to shake out people? Because last but not least, we can take a look at the liquidation levels as well, as I like to do sometimes. And in terms of liquidity traps, let's see where we find some data here. Let's look at the 48 hours. That works. Okay. The reason why I like to look at the liquidation heat map, I'm using CoinGlass for that, is because it helps us to identify how much potential downside do we have to the bottom. Unfortunately, CoinGlass is not delivering any data right now, so you have to look that up yourself. But the last time I checked, there is a lot of liquidity that is still down all the way to this yellow resistance line, $160, $170. And all that liquidity is basically from traders that have long positions right now on Sol. And the bears could try to take out that liquidity before pushing prices higher. So usually what happens is they grab liquidity, especially if there's big blocks in the liquidity heat map, like billions of dollars worth of liquidation levels. They grab that liquidity and then they pump the price up again. It is what happens in markets, not only in crypto. So prepare for that. But I remain cautiously bullish at the stage we're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, like Simon and I are perma bulls as it pertains to Solana in a long enough time horizon. And
in a long enough time.
Yeah, we're just talking about the charts today, how you might want to consider trading. Definitely not financial advice, but something to take into consideration. And so, how are we in terms of like Bitcoin dominance, maybe even USDT dominance? Are those things that you're looking at these days?
I am keeping an eye out for it, as you can see. Actually, we're mooning when it comes to BTC dominance right now. That is probably because BTC is seeing far less down movement right now than all the altcoins. We're in the last 24 hours, we're like 1.5% down on BTC and 4% down on ETH, almost 4% down on Sol, and more than 5% down on most altcoins. So BTC dominance is, usually going up in October. And I've been saying that at the beginning of the month, and I keep saying it. I think BTC dominance is still on a path higher for October. But in the midterm, looking in the next months, I expect it to go down, potentially after a new all-time high for BTC, right? So yeah, I think for now, we keep grinding a little bit higher here around the 60% mark for BTC dominance. But there will be a moment where we will seek this area down here even, which is around 52%, which is another pretty big decline in BTC dominance. And that area is my target for a potential alt season going into 2026 even, where BTC dominance will drop. Okay, so, but this is upcoming in zooming out. Right now, in my opinion, BTCD is gonna stay up there. Looking at Tether, it is going sideways. I told you guys last time, usually dominance is going down for Tether in the month of October. And the reason why is because people are actually cycling into Bitcoin or alts. So yeah, we're seeing it right now. It is consolidating. It went down since the beginning of the month, that's for sure. So we have here the beginning of the month, it was at 4.6%. We're now at 4.36. It went down all the way to 4.1. It will keep dropping, in my opinion, this month. So the trend is down for the USDT dominance, while the trend is up for the Bitcoin dominance. And altcoins are potentially following BTC, going sideways a bit. I do expect Sol, especially Sol, to pump though, just because of the very good market conditions around Solana right now when it comes to mindshare and buying pressure and so on, for obvious reasons that we cover every single week. That's all about the strong. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your TA for the week, Simon. It's obviously been a bit of a choppy week, a little bit downwards as well, but certainly, again, I say this all the time, but we used to pray for days like these, and we have them. So, I mean, like, really nothing to cry about. Anything else you want to tell us about the charts?
We're good. Let's move on in the show and talk about some exciting news when it comes to Solana land.
Yeah. So I think the first one that we've actually been covering for the last 2 weeks, but it looks like it's going to become a reality, is we have an ETF coming up, Simon. So what's going on over here? We have a prospectus dated October 8th, subject to completion. Sponsor a unitary management fee of about 20 bips, right? So what's going on here, Simon?
At least 9 spot Solana ETF applications are right now under SEC review. Decisions are to be expected in October. That's the month we're in, for everyone who still lives under a stone. It is going to happen this month, and it gets competitive because there's more than 9 issuers right now looking at launching ETFs for Solana, which means they have to compete for market share when it comes to their products, ETFs. And that also means that they have to either come up with innovative ways to make their vehicle more yield more interest on the money you put in there. We can talk about that a little bit, how that works. But it's also it's as simple as just keeping fees down, right? So ETFs always are known to have a fairly low fee structure because they are passive investment vehicles that are just reflecting an index of an asset, in this case, the Solana price. And they can still compete when it comes to 0.2% fees to 0.1% fees. Some might even cut the fees completely for a period of time to just get some volume in. So I think Bitwise is currently with their Solana ETF at a fairly low fee structure when it comes to comparing to others. There's also 21 shares that is working on ETFs, VanEck, Grayscale, Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital. A lot of people are working on spot ETFs these days. And yeah, I think it is exciting. It is exciting to see that actually happening now.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been talking about ETFs for so fucking long. I just kind of like, could we just fuck already? It's been too long.
Yeah. They take time to get approved, but you remember that we talked about ETFs already a while back on the podcast as well, because there have been ETFs that are already trading. And I always find it fascinating to see, like, okay, why is this one live? Since there's one, the SSK, the Rex Osprey Sol and Staking ETF, ticker SSK. It is since July 2nd, and we talked about that back then. We might have forgotten, all of us, but it's a US listed Solana ETF that has been live since then. And the thing is, it's trading on a smaller exchange. It's on the Cboe BZX exchange. Probably most people don't even know what that is. So the venue where this asset is trading is a bit smaller. They are a bit crypto friendlier than other bigger exchanges where you wanna get on as an ETF. But it also means that access to that ETF is a little bit restricted, which might. And I think the way I see it is that the SEC approved this one to have some trial vehicle out there. They probably had their reasons. I guess the issuers here, Osprey, have good ties to the SEC. They kind of front ran the whole movement a little bit by putting their ETF out first on a small venue to kind of stress test this whole system a little bit. And then now the big wave of spot ETF filings and approvals is going to happen this month, most likely. The question is, what does it do to the price? Like, is it priced in? Are people already, front running this listing, or does the price has to go up logically because there's going to be inflows of capital into that asset from the ETF, so people are actually buying. So it is a bit tricky to say.
It's 100% priced in, but that doesn't mean that once we have all of these rails essentially into Solana, right? That in a long enough time horizon that those rails will be used to pump the price of Solana. So don't get me wrong. I do think that long term, we absolutely need the ETFs and the capital that they bring in order to get Solana to, like, let's say $1,000 and onwards. That being said, the announcement of the ETFs, the bullishness of the ETFs, they've already clearly been priced in.
That makes sense. Sense. It might be a buy the news and sell the, how the fuck do you say it? Buy the rumor, sell the news event. Sorry guys, it might be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So when the ETF actually gets approved, I don't think it's going to do a lot to the SOL price because people are already fucking knowing, they know it's coming. But then in the weeks after, it will, as Eno said, it will enhance the effects on a price surge. That is kind of already expected from a lot of people. The price surge, it's going to happen at some point, even if the market is right now trying to scare us. And you will see your favorite influencers on the timeline already saying that the top is in right now and this is it, and we're going in the bear. But I'm telling you that there's just zero ground for that statement. It is just a bet. It's like playing roulette right now. If you say that the top is in my opinion, it's purely a speculation. There's no ground to say that. There's no TA that validates this. The wave structures don't look like the top is in at all right now. There's no fundamental news that we are looking at in the world when it comes to global economy and geopolitics right now that could indicate that the price top is in. It could, if there's a black swan, then we don't know it. Again, that's gamble, right? So you feel comfortable with saying that the price is not in,
Yeah, the price. No,
we
the
have
top
no
is not
idea,
in.
but
No, the top is. I mean, barring a black swan event. Speaking of which, can we
Yeah.
just like pat ourselves on the back? It's like those
It's been a while.
signs that people have, those signs that goes like 300 days since the last accident in the factory. I feel like it's been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there haven't been like any major blowups yet of note, and
Yeah.
nor any major hacks. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, people get hacked. Protocols get hacked all the time. But like there hasn't been anything
Yeah.
catastrophic to speak of in 2025. So like I'm pretty happy with that. I would like that
Yeah.
to stay just as long as we get to, can
yeah.
keep that environment for a little bit longer. I hope it holds.
Me too, man. Like, knock on wood. No one wants to see another, what the fuck was it, 3 Arrows Capital going
Yeah.
down. No one wants to see all that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
we're gonna
Not another Terra Luna.
nah, not. I'm not betting on any of this stuff happening anymore because the market is maturing and things are just a bit more safe right now. The only black swan that I potentially see is an outside crypto black swan. Anything in the global economy, because U.S. government and U.S. economy right now is not it's not at its peak. I would say it's not the most glorious time for our friends over the sea.
I mean, we did get a little scared earlier this year with the Terra 4, right? Like that actually was cause for concern. Like we had no idea whether or not Trump would follow through on a lot of those threats, and he did to a large extent. But he also didn't tank the global economy. He did hurt trade quite a bit, and the effects are still being felt as he continues his negotiations with different countries. But by and large, I think we feel a little bit more stable than we did earlier this year. Anywho, Simon, aside from ETFs, there are other very, very exciting investment vehicles in Solana land, and this includes our very, very beloved digital asset treasuries, DATs. And so what's going on over here is DFDV, which is a US-based company, has launched an initiative to launch DFDV Japan with their friends over at Super Team Japan. The lead, Hisashi, is working very, very closely with DFDV. You'll also notice that DFDV was making moves in Korea as well. They're working with the Fragmetric team to launch DFDV Korea. They've already secured the vehicle there, and we're well underway to securing the vehicle for DFDV Japan.
So are these all different companies? Is that how it works? Do you know that? Like, are we looking at different? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
they are all different companies.
Market.
Correct. Right.
Okay. Interesting. So really large scale attack plan here from DFDV to position themselves in a strong global position here in the debt market, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen any other team push as aggressively for international expansion. In fact, most teams I find are more trying to win the battles that they already have, right? In the countries that they've issued. So like in DFDV's case, that'd be the US. And so they're fighting against Ford as well as Sharp, Sharp's technology. I mean, there's just, but globally, obviously there's space for multiple DATs, and DATs specifically make sense in Japan because crypto in Japan is taxed as income as opposed to capital gains. And I believe the income tax in Japan is like 55%. It's fucking nuts. Whereas the capital gains tax is much lower. I think it's closer to like 20-ish%. And so that's why DATs make a lot of sense in Japan more than any other market in the world, just because of the way crypto is taxed there.
Even though the government, in conjunction with the financial authorities in Japan, are working on better rules when it comes to crypto taxation, from what I've seen on the ground and what I've heard from some people in the market, right? So I think in the midterm, we can expect crypto tax to be handled differently than just putting it to your personal income tax and taxing it at 50%.
Yes, I've heard conflicting opinions on this. Not about whether or not it's going to happen. That's 100% true. We are going to get better crypto tax regulation in Japan. The differing opinions I've heard about is in what time scale, right? So for those of you like myself who recently just learned about Japanese tax, their tax season is actually in November. And so typically what happens is they have a flurry of tax regulation adjustments in around late October, right? Some people have even said, and this is where the opinions diverge, that the changes to Japan's crypto tax are going to start this year, whereas other people think it's not going to come for another year or two. So the plan is to, get better. DATs will be less relevant in Japan once they update their crypto tax rules. But the devil's in the details, right? Like if the capital gains tax for regular assets, like shares in a company, is like 20%, but then for crypto it's 25%, people still might prefer DATs over, holding crypto themselves.
Oh yeah, I mean that is the global pitch for DATs this time, is that they are distinguished investment vehicles from the core asset. With it's a leveraged play, right? And we will talk about this more in an upcoming episode with the FDV, because Sol Brothers are going to talk to the gentleman behind that company very soon. So everyone who's listening right now, you can get ready for that episode, and drop some questions. Like if you have questions for DFTV, drop them in the comments of the video wherever you're watching it, or in the live stream, so we can make a note and see if we can bake these questions into the conversation with the leadership behind DFTV coming soon to Sol Brothers.
Yes.
How about we take a little trade while we're talking about all these exciting topics? I have my flash trade open right now. I have the Sol Brothers wallet funded with 68 USDC left that we can evaporate into the ether by going short on Solana with 125x leverage. What do you think? Does it sound like a good idea?
I love it. I was just on Trade Wars the other day, so always love to use the Flash Trade Perps program. And what's going on over here? You got degen mode on. You are going to short.
I'm thinking to short right now because we're in a downtrend. We've been dipping a lot here, right? So you've seen the big pullback here from the 120. What was it? 128. We reached 128. Even higher. We reached $130 almost, and then we had a sharp decline here. And right now we're getting stopped out a little bit with a little hiccup here. But I don't think the structure is over yet when it comes to dipping. I think we might retest the low that we've seen before here on the chart. So do not do this at home, guys, because this is definitely not financial advice, and we're not telling you how to invest your money. But we are fans of the Flash Trade product. Personally, use it to trade as well. And they do have an interesting trading mode, which is called a degen mode, where you can literally go up to 500x leverage, which is pretty insane.
Too much. It's too much.
I mean, you can what you do is you put in $100, right, and you can go 500x long or short, which is going to be a $33,000 position that you just opened with $100. The liquidation levels and margin levels are obviously extremely tight for these kind of trades, so you want to time them extremely well and prepare yourself to lose the money you put in here. But the upside is huge, because I've seen people, and again, this is not financial advice, but I've seen people putting in $50 in this trade and walking away with a $1,000 P&L because they just caught a very lucky moment, and that is what you need for this, a little bit of luck. So instead of going to lottery and gambling at the slot machine, you might want to challenge your TA skills and try a flash trade. We keep this open while we talk and hope that we don't get liquidated.
Yes. So we'll keep our eye out on that trade. But we also have a very exciting announcement. It's actually one of the biggest announcements that's come out this year. Our friends over at Jupiter have teamed up with Athena to launch Jupe USD. I, having come from Jupiter / Solana land and going to the breakpoints from way back when, over in Amsterdam, Meow actually announced what was called USDJ 2 years ago, right? And nothing ever happened with that project because they were working on so many different things. But now you can notice that Jupiter has this new model where they're working with existing teams that already know what the fuck they're doing, right? So if you look at even Jupeland, they partnered with Fluid to make that happen. And same goes for Jupe USD. They're working with Athena to launch a DeFi dollar on Solana. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. Can you tell the people a little bit more about what Athena is, Simon?
So Athena has been on the stablecoin business, mainly in Ethereum land since a long time. right now at this moment, they don't have a huge market share when it comes to stable coins. I think it's hovering around 1% or something to global stable environment with their USDE stablecoin. But they have a really sophisticated product. They have a really strong backing from a raise they did a while ago, and they have big goals for their stable coins. I do think it's a very capable team from what I've seen when it comes to their product. They do have quite a bit of TVL on their platform still, and I think they are a fairly decent partner to work with Jupiter here. What I would be interested in as well is maybe the business reasoning here behind that whole move, because I find it interesting that Jupiter is going that path of collaborating with existing businesses in specific niches instead of building shit themselves. It's a business practice that is, not, other people do it as well. A lot of businesses are built on contracts and collaborations, but Jupiter probably has the manpower and money to build things themselves, right? So why do you think they go down that path? What strengths is Jupiter leveraging that they have? And what are they looking for in terms of compensating weaknesses that they might have as well when collaborating with these companies like Fluid and Athena out there? Do you have a take on that, Nino?
Yes. Jupiter has actually had a pretty long history of acquiring companies in order to launch these products. So, for example, if we look at Jupiter portfolio, that is based on an acquisition of SonarWatch, and our friend Guillaume, who's the CEO of SonarWatch, now works in-house at Jupiter. So in some cases, I think it's 100% possible to acquire a company in order to forward an initiative that you think is very important to you. So in that case, it would be Jupiter portfolio. Even Jupiter Wallet, Jupiter Mobile, is an acquisition of a team that used to be called Ultimate Wallet, right? A team based out of Germany. But in some cases, let's take Fluid and Athena as an example. Jupiter is wealthy. They have a lot of money. There's no fucking way they're going to buy Athena. There's no fucking way that they're going to buy Fluid for two reasons. One, those companies are extremely successful and valuable in their own right. And number two, the founders there, and I'm not saying that people who have gotten acquired by Jupiter are not ambitious, but like they're just a different level of ambitious. Like Guy from Athena is famously, you're just not going to acquire that guy. There's just no way he's going to work for you. But they certainly would work with you as a partner. And one last thing I'd say is that like why does Jupiter acquire companies to create new products? Why does Jupiter partner with companies to create new products? Is because Jupiter is aware that they are not experts in the field that they're trying to enter. Like obviously they have people who could competently explain like how Juplend might work and how the Jupiter stablecoin might work. But in terms of the actual execution of it, it's much better to work with people who literally have made it their life's mission to work on said project for years, right? And have thought about it literally every single day and haven't done anything else. And so in that case, I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah. When can we expect this all to happen when it comes to the new Jup USD? Is there a timeline on that thing?
Yeah,
when we can
they said Q4. Yeah, Q4. It's coming out. They haven't had an exact date, but yeah, Q4.
Okay.
We're going to be seeing Jup USD.
Hell yeah. I expect November, December would be my assumption to see this actually being implemented and used inside of Jupiter Perps, Jupiter Lend, on swaps and so on. So yeah, look out for Jup USD. Stable coins are definitely a trend right now. Everyone is launching one, as it seems like a lot of people are working on stables, these days. So you definitely have a very good skill set and specific knowledge there behind you with your former stablecoin company. Exciting times for you. Do you feel like you're missing out right now, not working on stables in your main job?
I think that with Solana Stable Future, I've been able to scratch that itch a little bit and also lean into things that I was actually good at, which is connecting people. I was not the greatest architect of stable coins, nor was I the best marketer of stable coins. And so I have one foot in the stablecoin space still, but obviously I think that there are better and greater minds out there. Guy is obviously a genius, and the work that he's done creating a DeFi dollar, a delta neutral stable coin, is first of its kind, and has succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's doing so well.
I love that. Makes a lot of sense. What else do we have?
So next up we have a new app called dm.fun, and this product is super interesting. They're saying like goodbye to Telegram trading bots. You're going to use dm.fun now. for all of your trading experiences. Like obviously you can see what's trending. You can see what your friends are buying. You can find runners early. So, I mean, like, I'm not quite so sure what makes this all that different from Vector, but certainly, like, it is another meme coin trading app.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I think it is, again, it is highly ambitious. Vector has been trying to do what they are trying to do now, and maybe we are terribly uninformed right now by not doing Matrika team a favor by comparing them to Vector. But it's feedback as well for the Matrika team. This is how the product appears to people that are in Sol right now. If I look at this, I think, okay, this is a meme coin launchpad, or a meme coin trading app, sorry, that I can use with enhanced features to trade meme coins. That the UX is much better in Telegram, that is for sure. But then you have projects like Bonkbot that launch telemetry, which is more like a optimized for desktop, in my opinion, where you can trade. You have like apps like Bullex that are more sophisticated on desktop to trade meme coins. And then you have these more kind of lifestyle brands that make memes fun again, which is Vector from our friends from Tensor, and then now Matrika launched their own DM.fun. So I think it's an interesting product. I'm definitely going to check it out. Not sure yet about the way they distinguish themselves from other players in the market. I do understand it from a business point of view, though, to do that, because A, it can print, right? All these meme coin related trading apps have a big revenue potential. So I think Matrika is just trying to put a new foot onto their house to kind of have an alternative revenue income here from a different product. And then B, Matrika might also be able to leverage their profile data and identity data really that they have on users, because they do have a lot of crypto users that signed up to Matrika to verify their NFT eligibilities and so on in Discord servers. So they might bake that into the product as well, which can enhance the user experience, and that could be a factor that distinguishes them from others that don't have that data. So there are some interesting angles to it.
Yeah, and perhaps one thing that Matrika has going for them that our friends over at Tensor and Vector don't is like Matrika's distribution is quite good. And don't get me wrong, like Tensor was at its time a very, very successful product. Vector and its launch too was also very good at what it did. But it's like meme coin season kind of died on Solana. The super cycle is more or less over for now. And so it's also the timing of the launch of this app is quite interesting. I almost feel like it's a few months too late.
I mean, you gotta keep believing in the trends, and especially if we do get more liquidity circling back into alts and even memes, then these apps might perform actually really well. So yeah, do not think it is dead yet, this whole industry, even though it's a bit calmer right now in the meme sector. But the comeback can be grand once liquidity and attention comes back to that.
I never thought I would say this, but I actually kind of miss the meme coin super cycle just because it was fun. The timeline was fun. People were happy. They were fucking around and like posting memes, and it was the timeline feels a lot different now.
Yeah, but we're growing up.
Institution that, ETF this, DAT whatever.
Fucking boring. We want people again that fucking cut their hair on a live stream to pump their token. We actually have these people, we just maybe not on our timeline. It's just we're not in that bubble too much. If you guys want to see Sol Brothers pod on Pump.fun, by the way, let us know. Eno's gonna love that idea to live stream. One day, if we can all make him do that, there will be a grand moment to fuck around on Pump.fun. I mean, there's actually a case to do that, to kind of do something good on that stupid platform, like actual good content, professional, nice streams with the token that kind of makes sense for the community. I know everyone is saying that to an extent, but no one's really doing it, I feel. So it might be an interesting angle. We should actually listen to what people think about that idea. But I know it's gonna have some.
No, my thinking has changed on this a little bit. Like specifically the point about Solana the foundation keeps pushing this point as well, is that anything with revenue should have a token. And so in that sense, like Sol Brothers is a revenue generating business, and so it might even make sense to have a token, but only if and here's the sticking point is how do you tie the token to the value of the company itself? But as soon as you start talking about that, people start putting their hands up going, it's a security. It's like, okay, sorry. So
I mean, we're getting better, right? Like we do have a bit more clarity now. A lot of protocols are going that path. They show some balls and they say, like Freshtrade is doing it as well. They say we can call it revenue share. It is fine. Like we just do it. And they managed to survive that way with their company structure. And the SEC, I think, is getting better at giving clarity what you can say, what you can't say. And also, I think very soon, more crypto projects will declare their token as a security, because there's nothing inherently wrong with that. We just need to know exactly what needs to be done for it to be a security, and then we can declare it as one, and then we can also list it at venues that list securities. So I think it might change in the midterm here. But yeah, Soul Brothers token, interesting. Let's see when that happens. For now,
even fucking Laura Shin, who's like one of the most serious crypto journalists out there, has a fucking pump fund stream and a Laura Shin token. And she's opted for like a fair launch model where she has no allocation of the token. She only earns the creator fees, the trading of the token, which is an interesting way to approach it.
I would do exactly the same.
But I wouldn't do it on Pump. I would literally choose any other venue.
But you get the distribution.
Moving on. For Bonk.
We're not making this another time. Yeah, we can do it on Bonk. But let's talk a little bit about what's new at Solflare, because Solflare's cooking. I'm seeing things happening all the time. My timeline is full of Solflare stuff. I always see the yellow on my timeline. What happened?
Yeah. So Solflare has a really, really nifty mobile development update. Like we work with Solflare quite a bit. They're the main sponsor of this podcast. And it's no joke. And this is a meme that they have on the timeline, all the time. They have like 17 different secret projects. It's like literally 17, maybe even more. 17 is just a random number, but I mean, it's just, they have so many fucking secret projects. And obviously that means on mobile, they have a lot of things that are being updated. So number one, we all know that the Solflare card was announced over at Crossroads. But one thing that you should know is that the digital version of those cards will be available first. And so the timeline for those digital cards is very much classified, and we will get to you on, we will be the first to tell you when those are available, but it is imminent. And so what you can do is get your KYC done. So if you get your KYC done for the Solflare card, then when it does launch, you can get access to that card basically immediately. And then another thing too, for unverified NFTs, they have a flow to identify scam NFTs that land in your wallet. And if you're clicking on risky links, when you open those NFTs, it'll, make sure that you less prone to rugging yourself. The market page also has some updates, the on-ramper flow as well, et cetera, et cetera. There's quite a few updates in mobile development land over at Solflare, and very happy with all the progress they're making on the product.
Yep. And I think the card is coming sooner than later. I always know that there's a few inner circles that are getting the card very, very soon to do some tests with that, and then the waitlist people will start to get the card as well. There is a $100,000 bounty right now up for grabs at Solflare if you sign up to Solflare card with one of your Solflare wallets and do KYC with that wallet. And if you do so, and if you want to do so, you'll get some extra points if you sign up with the Soul Brothers link as well, which is in our Twitter bio. So I just put it there actually. We'll have a more prominent display of that link very soon as well, but you can head over to the Soul Brothers account, check the bio on our Twitter, or even hopefully the section under the YouTube in the comments and description, and you will find the Solflare card link over there, and you can sign up to Solflare card. Make sure to KYC, then you're eligible to win one part of the $100,000 prize pool, which will be raffled amongst all people that sign up, and obviously you get your card as well once it's up.
Well, I would like a share of that $100,000 prize pool, so we're definitely going to be throwing our hat in the ring and trying to get as many referrals as possible.
Hell
But
yeah.
aside from our friends over at Soulflare, our friends over at SNS have some really interesting governance updates. This is the first SNS governance proposal ever, right? So
hmm
it's going to go live on October 15th. But actually, there's quite a few intermediary steps that people should be aware of. They did opt for a token voting system as opposed to, like, let's say, Futarchy or otherwise. I know that our friends Dean over at Realms is also exploring Sowellian governance. That's something that I'd love to talk about at some point. It's completely new. It's like Futarchy, but completely fucking different.
Well,
um,
you cannot explain anything like that, It is
yes.
like X, but very different.
Well, let me just put
Anyway,
it this way: it's more like Futarchy than it is like token voting. Is what I
I
meant
see.
to say. I apologize. That was like the worst description of a governance system fucking ever. But yeah, so the first vote is going to go live on October 15th. But the really important thing here is that the proposal, Simon, is going to be shared on October 10th, which means
Mm,
that they're going to have a 5-day proposal reviewing period. And then on October 15th, they're going to have 3 days for you to vote. And it's a very simple weighting system. One SNS token equals one vote, and then
mhm,
obviously majority rules. So this is just
mhm.
very, very classic token voting, and it's all done through our friends over at Realms DAO. So check out
Mhm.
Realms DAO if you haven't. But this is what's going on over in SNS land. There's going to be a new community vote.
Cool. So stake your SNS. First of all, get some SNS, stake it, and take part in community votes, because that is how crypto companies roll. We give some power back to the shareholders immediately in the internet, because that's where all the action happens here in this new economy. It's really cool to observe that this is a thing. Yeah, we should talk about DAOs a little bit at some point of the show. Dean is a good resource to pick brains with. I think we can also, yeah, I think the whole Realms DAO team, that the people behind
Yeah, their
are
governance
good
nuts.
to. Yes, 100%.
I know that governance is not in vogue anymore. It's like not the most popular topic, but actually, if you want to get to a place where tokens start to behave how they're supposed to, which is
Mm,
reflecting the value of the companies because I think we can agree that there's so many companies out there where their tokens do not reflect the value of the company. Either the token is super undervalued or overvalued, and it's not tied. It's
yeah.
almost more of a meme than it is the token, reflection of the value of the company itself.
Mm,
But if you want those tokens to start reflecting the value of the company more accurately, there has to be some governance mechanism. Whether it's used or not is a separate question, but there needs to be some
mm,
agreement on what exactly governance looks like on Solana. So yeah, that's very much an evolving conversation, so we're keeping our eye out on that.
yep. Good. What else do we got? Do we have more news for this week, or is it a wrap?
We have one last thing to talk about, but before we do so, can we check out what's going on with our short? What's going on?
I don't really want to look at it, but sure.
Is
Um,
oh no.
it's creeping. It's creeping up, and it's unfortunately getting. It's getting close to our liquidation point. I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm not giving up, because here's the last resistance area right now. To see a decline before either realizing a loss or betting for a complete reversal. But yeah, it was not the best entry point that I hoped for. I thought we're gonna go down from here. But yes, trading these extremely minutesque timeframes can be dangerous. So you see the price is creeping up here. So
Yes.
let's see what happens. I keep believing we're going down right now. So you see, we're gonna make it, guys. We're gonna make it. We're gonna turn this around, and we're gonna turn these $50 into at least 100. Please go down.
Make it. The only time that I pray for Solana's downfall is whenever I got a short.
Whenever you got 100x short on it, yeah. Actually, I wanted to go up because obviously our bags are so. I don't want it to go too much down, but I wouldn't mind a retest of the 219 and then go up from there to have like a little swing trade here.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, let's return to the pod and finish off strong, and then
Yeah.
see if we're still alive here when we're ending this thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that brings us perfectly into our last topic, which is Flash Trade's FAF, the FAF token. You should know that if you get FAF and you stake your FAF, you actually get 50% revenue share of the FAF token. So this is a little meme that the Flash Trade team had posted over the week, which is that when I realized I didn't stake my FAF while everyone is collecting their daily 50% revenue share. So yeah, you definitely want to be staking your FAF because when folks like Simon and I lose money on Flash Trade, some of that is revenue. I mean, like even if we make money on Flash Trade, we're still paying fees, and 50% of those fees go to you, the FAF token holders. And the more successful that Flash Trade becomes, and I mean, quite frankly, I think the FAF um, staking rewards are very much underrated discussion point. Like people don't really talk about it all that often. So it's underfarmed in that sense. So if Flash Trade as a platform starts doing very, very well, you might stand to make a shit ton of money from, Flash Trade revenue.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Sol Brothers Pod is sponsored by Flash Trade. We are obviously paid to talk about them. So that is one disclaimer we have to do. Second disclaimer is that at least one of the Sol Brothers is also a token holder, not if both even are a FAF token holder. So we also have our own personal interest in this vehicle.
Yes.
But with that being said, with the disclaimers out of the way, I do strongly believe that it is right now the best perps token out there, which is not my words, it's Sumptuous in the comments right now that said that. No supply overhang and rev share, and a terribly big gap between the actual potential of the token valuation and where we are today. There's a few projects right now on Solana that are extremely undervalued. I'm lucky to lead one as well in a similar position, and Flash Trade is in a very similar position right now. Their token launched very fair. There's no team allocation. The team has nothing. If they want to hold tokens, they buy them. And if they need tokens for marketing initiatives, or one time ago, they put some incentives in the Camino pool. If they need tokens for that, they buy them on the open market. It will create a green candle. So it's a really positive setup for the FAF token itself. Plus, the product works really well. They make a lot of money already right now. You can check it on their Twitter. They have monthly reports. We just talked about it last stream. So they do make money, and they share 50% of that revenue even with the community. And the community is you if you are a token holder. So every single month, I do make a couple $100 just from having my FAF staked, right? Because I'm a back holder. So I think, yeah, it's a great kind of passive income. You won't get rich if you have $500 worth of FAF stake. Let's be clear, okay? If you have some sizable amount, 4-digit, 5-digit, then you'll definitely get a good rev share every single month. Plus, the token has some upside potential. So, yeah, interesting vehicle to look at least. Make your own opinion by doing your own research on that. Don't trust the Sol Brothers ever when it comes to financial decisions in your life. But listen to us, get some inspiration, and then do your own thing. That is my closing remarks here. And we are not yet liquidated. So before we end this podcast today, we can definitely take a last glance here at the chart. I keep it open, I think. What do you think? Should I keep it open or should I accept the loss? What is your opinion?
How down are you? 27?
I'm $27, like half. I lost half of the initial.
Okay.
And it looks spicy right now, and it could be a lucky turnaround that we might turn around here, right below the liquidation mark, around the $22. That could be the resistance, really, like here, this level.
Man,
basically
I was just on.
I
was just on Trade Wars, and you saw how poorly I traded. I am not the person to be asking this fucking question. I am dog shit at trading.
It was really fun to watch you, though. Like you were hedging your hedge, and everything was down. You're like, how can I be down in a long and a short at the same time? I have to pick the worst entry ever. Like it's a skill, Like you can be proud of yourself. I keep it open for now, and I'll let you guys know what happened to that position. If next live stream when Sol Brothers are there for you again on Monday happens, and we have more than $50 on this Sol Brothers wallet, then that means we made some money on that position. If we have $18 on it, that meant we lost everything. So we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Sol Brothers. I am currently watching my cat take a piss. It is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's literally standing up on his 2 legs. I don't know how he's doing it. It's weird. It's like,
Do we want to look at that?
he's
Oh my God.
he's taking a piss
What
right
is he-
now. This
What
fucking
is he
guy.
doing?
What are you doing?
What?
Take a piss like a normal dude. Why? Why are you doing that?
At least he's
What?
not pissing over the fucking thing.
I think he's trying to. Fucking asshole.
I've seen
good.
I've seen that happening. Like just cats literally standing in their toilet and then fucking weeing outside of it. But I guess what the fuck are you? Why are you even then just stand on the floor then? You know, don't even bother going in there. You silly. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining Soul Brothers podcast. We are there for you every single week, Mondays and Thursdays, in a live stream. If you want to be with the live stream in the community, in the comments, then show up, pull up, and watch us on X and YouTube. And if you don't have time to join these, then no problem. We got you covered because we post on YouTube at Soul Brothers Pod, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter, of course. So make sure that you follow us, subscribe to our channels, give us a like, drop a comment, do all that stuff that supports our podcast to grow even bigger, because the mission, is very clear. We want to get more people on Solana, and we want to keep them here as well, because vibes are great and things are happening, and Solana is the future. I'm more bullish than ever on this ecosystem, honestly, these days, which is great. So good time to be alive. We wish you a good end of the week, and we'll see you at the next one.
See ya.
Okay, and stream also see ya, because I think we don't have any timeline reactions ready right now to record. I might come up with something later today and just record it myself. But I think we're good. Nick, are we good? Give us a thumbs up in the backstage if you think we're alrighty. Oh, here we go. Then yeah, thank you, stream. Oh, okay, here we go.
Why
brought
not?
the
Nick
poor
is
guy
here.
into the stream.
I
Like,
know.
He doesn't have his makeup right now. He's not prepped for this.
Nick's a camera whore.
Anyway, you're pretty. So we do have our research expert here live on stage with us. Our beautiful analyst Nick is with us.
Oh,
We're still live. Yeah. What do you think we're doing here? That's why I said, just
Hey,
look
guys.
pretty.
yep.
And yeah, I think you're the brain behind this operation, because everything we talk about is basically sourced by Nick. For everyone who wonders,
Yeah.
how and myself have the time to do this shit, we don't. But we do have great people that help us to make this happen. So thanks, Nick.
Simon, Nick looks like a mix between your camera feed and my camera feed if they had a baby. He's wearing a green shirt and my glasses. Like, what is going on here?
It's actually true. Yeah, and you guys have the exact same hairstyle and glasses.
Oh
Like,
my
what the fuck
God.
are you, Nick? Are you
I don't
trying
know.
to impersonate
No,
this
it's-
guy? Like, do you like?
It's the other way around. I'm trying to copy Nick's style. It's not working out for me, though. Okay, guys, enough fucking around. We're actually going to be live in a couple more hours for yet another surprise interview. So we will see you soon. Adios. Bye-bye.